Chapter 2, the program. One of the first things you should request when you are engaged to host an event is the program. The program gives you an idea of how long the function will last. It shows what will happen at any particular time and who will be involved. The usual practice is for the event organizer to draw up the program. However, by virtue of your job and your experience as a Master of Ceremonies, you may be asked to come up with ideas for structuring a program. If you are faced with this situation, you should not worry. All programs follow a basic structure, as you will find out shortly. Arrival of guests. The first item on every program is arrival of guests. It may sound unnecessary to note such an obvious item, since people will have to turn up for the event to get underway, but here is why it is important. Assuming that the event is scheduled to begin at 6 p.m., put down 5 p.m. as the time for the guests to start arriving at the venue. This means that you need to be on site at least an hour earlier, at 4 p.m., to familiarize yourself with the venue, the equipment, and the people you'll be working with. At some corporate events, the time between arrival of guests and the start of the show is used to serve cocktails, hold an exhibition, or even take official photographs. Whatever the case may be, the people involved will have to assume that some guests will arrive right on time, and so they should be ready to cater for them. Opening formalities. Most social events in Africa will start with opening prayer. Corporate events may or may not open with a prayer. Check with your client or the event organizer to see what the culture is. Do not try to force an opening prayer into the program. If the lack of it offends your sensibilities, remember you are a professional with a job to do, not a religious referee. A state function will start with the national anthem when the president gets onto the dais, after which the opening prayers are said. Some state functions will have Christian, Muslim, and traditional prayers, so make sure you allocate enough time to cater for them. Purpose of gathering. The purpose of gathering tells the audience what the event is about and why it is important for the audience. Often, the MC speaks on this item, but sometimes a person closely connected with the event may deliver remarks on the purpose of gathering. If the organizers want you to be responsible for this part of the program, make sure you get a prior in-depth briefing so you can speak with authority. Welcome address. The welcome address is usually given by a senior level person. In a corporate setting, this would be the chief executive officer, a director, or a senior manager. They would have to be appropriately introduced, so you need to have their brief profiles for this task. For social events like parties or book launches, the welcome address is usually incorporated into the purpose of gathering, so it will not stand as a separate item. Introduction of Chairperson. Most corporate and social events will need someone to preside over the function. Usually, someone other than the Master of Ceremonies will introduce this important speaker and invite them to chair the event. However, be prepared to play this role if the organizer decides on you to do it. Remember to factor in time for the chairperson's response to the invitation. Body of the program. This part of the program can vary widely depending on what type of event it is, the number of speakers, the kind of activities, and even the kind of entertainment on offer. The following templates are examples you could use. New product launch, marketing manager speech, entertainment, guest of honors address, unveiling ceremony, viewing of TV commercial. Wedding reception, refreshments, cut cake, dinner and optional speeches, pop champagne, toast, couple's first dance, all dance, bouquet toss, more dancing. Closing remarks. The chairperson is invited to give a short speech about the event and inspire the audience about the significance of what they've just witnessed. Vote of thanks. By this time, the event should be winding down. The vote of thanks is a formal speech aimed at appreciating the people who contributed to the success of the function. Usually the MC will introduce a representative of the organizers to do it. Closing prayer. Just like the opening prayer, this is optional. If it is included, it is usually the last item on the program. After the closing prayer has been said, the event is formally closed, and you can expect guests to start heading for the exit.